Our government has a debt and a deficit. Nobody is going to deny that. We have to, in a period of time, begin to balance our budget and set our priorities straight in this country. We can't continue to do what we're doing economically and with our expenditures without consequences. We all know that. And as people that have to rely on a fixed income, as people that have to rely on making ends meet every day of our lives, we know that this needs to be balanced. But the situation is the question is going to be on whose watch and on whose back are we going to balance this budget of our country. Nothing. We met with the commissioners, the two co-chairs, Knowles and former Senator Simpson, to talk about this issue. And we made two priorities understood to them as members of Congress: the preservation of Social Security and Medicare, and eliminating those programs, privatizing those programs, raising the retirement age, were not options that we were going to support, period. That means in the effort to balance this, we got into this economic hole over the course of 8 years. We got into this recession that we're in as a consequence of policies over the last 8 years, 9 years. And now we're magically going to dig ourselves out of this hole, balance the budget in a matter of 6 months. It can't happen. It cannot happen. And unless, of course, the very basic entitlement programs of this nation, beginning with Social Security, are reduced, changed, privatized, or cut. And we cannot tolerate that happening. 6 million children depend on Social Security. People on special needs and disabilities depend on Social Security. 50 million Americans rely on Social Security as their principal means of income. And so we are talking about the very fundamental fabric of American life and its people. Social Security, we call it an entitlement. Yes, it's an earned entitlement. We pay in, and when we retire, we earn the benefit we receive. This is not a give-me thing. This is not charity. This is an earned entitlement that we have as Social Security. We need to protect that. Social Security is not the reason why we have a deficit in this country. Social Security pays for itself, and the gentleman mentioned that less than 7% of the administrative overhead, the lowest administrative overhead of any program in the federal government. Social Security did not cause the deficit. The beneficiaries of Social Security did not cause the deficit. What caused the deficit? Some unrealistic tax cuts that people are talking about continuing the Bush tax cuts into the future. That'll cost us trillions and trillions of dollars in deficits one more time. What about and God bless them, God bless the warriors, they're doing what they have to do for this country, they're following their commander's instructions, and they're there, and we should all bless them, respect them, and hold them to the highest honor. But we have a conflict in the war in Iraq. We have a conflict in the war in Afghanistan. The other day, we voted a supplemental for Afghanistan, $39 billion, no offset. That goes into the deficit. So we've been fighting almost a $2 trillion war for 8 years, and all unpaid for. It just goes on the deficit side. We also told those two chairs of the commission, are you going to get anyone, are you going to get members that are asking for privatization that are part of that commission? Are you going to get them to vote to close corporate loopholes? Are you going to get them to vote for tax increases for corporations that pay nothing? Are you going to get those people to talk about rescinding the tax cut to the 2% of this country, the richest? And the answer was, it's going to be difficult. And And so that we have to make it difficult to make Social Security the only target in which we find this deficit. I was opposed to the formation of the commission because you saw what was in front of you, and you read the newspapers. Social Security, Medicare, they're the reasons that we have this problem. They're not the reasons we have this problem. We have this problem because people spent and spent and spent and never accounted for that the bill was going to come due. And now it's Social Security's turn to pay that bill. I'm sorry. You didn't cause it, you don't pay for it. And if you broke it, you need to buy it. And the system is broken and it needs to come from somewhere else. I'm willing to understand that maybe we should look at the tax cap of Social Security and maybe raise that cap as another reason. But whatever you do to tinker to make the system stronger, the trustees said the economic outlook for Social Security is bright and it's strong. Social Security is solvent at the very minimum to the year 2037. We shouldn't be in a rush. We shouldn't be stepping over people to try to make this deficit reduction program on the backs of the people that do not need it, do not deserve it, and didn't cause it. Social Security, we've been through 13 recessions in this country. This is one of them, probably the worst. In those 13 recessions, Social Security remained strong through the whole process. Why? Because the beneficiaries are the ones that pay for it. And the next generation, as it should be, takes care of the generation that went before them. That is the American way. That is about shared responsibility in this country. And people that have earned the security in their retirement ages, children that have earned the support and security from Social Security through no reason of their own, people with special needs and disabilities that need the security. Those beneficiaries are the bulk and the backbone of this nation. This is what made this nation strong. This is what continues to make this nation strong. So as we dig ourselves out of this recession, and we will, because you have to have faith in the American people that they're going to dig themselves out and help us get out of it. And as we look at deficit reduction, let's not look at it as a snapshot that we have to do it today or the next day. This week took us 10 years to get in this hole. It's going to take us 10 years to get out. And so, congratulations on the birthday. Many of us in Congress, some of us in Congress, I can't say many yet, have taken a public pledge that the preservation of Social Security is the #1 issue for us. And if the commission vote recommends privatization, reductions in benefits, age adjustments to Social Security benefits, that we pledge we will vote no on those. You need to ask the members of Congress, Social Security, the preservation of Social Security is going to become the #1 agenda item now, and it should be. I don't like coming and saying we got to fight this thing over and over again. I don't like it. It should be necessary. But we've been through it before. We were successful before, and I have no doubt that the will and the strength that you showed the last time in this fight will be there again, and we will once again be successful in preserving the earned benefit of 60 million Americans in this country. Thank you very much.